And the federal surge has had a significant increase on crime in Washington, D.C. And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you this content. Now, y'all, today, this video is all about the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser. She broke the Democratic Party today, y'all. She did something excellent, something laudable, and something that the other Democrats, they can't do for some reason. And we're going to get into it, how Muriel Bowser, she not only broke their main narrative, she not only broke something that they have been saying going all the way back to 2000, to the year 2000 and before, but she also drove a dagger straight through the Democrats' entire platform and made it such that they have to contend with a very harsh reality. So what am I talking about, y'all? I'm talking about the fact that the Democrats have demonized police officers and listen, and I fully acknowledge that in many situations, the police have acted badly, but we also have to say, look, on a whole, the police are a force for good, even though there are some rotten apples who have done some terrible things. So we have to acknowledge that. But the Democrats have wanted to demonize the police and treat them as if they were the overall a force for evil. And what Muriel Bowser said today totally undercut all of that, and it showed that when you have effective policing, people can get their lives back together. Lives are not only healed, but they're saved, and that is, surprise, surprise, a good thing. Now, before we get into Muriel Bowser's exact remarks, what I want to do is show y'all just how deep and pervasive I want to say insanity. I don't know what word to use, but just how deep and pervasive this is. Now I made a video yesterday about Brandon Johnson. He couldn't even answer a question about whether more police would be better for his city. At the end of this video, we'll flow right into that. But just take a look at a quick clip of Brandon Johnson and the craziness so we can kind of give the context for why what Muriel Bowser said is so important. But before we do, y'all, make sure you take care of your money. I'm not going to make this a long one, y'all. Go to Paralegold, PARALEGOLD.com, or call 844-651-8334, 844-651-8334. If you have $50,000 to $100,000 or more in your retirement, protected from inflation, protected from monetary debasement, you're about to retire. Make sure your money's still there and it's still worth something by investing at least some of it in gold. Talk to our partners at Augusta Precious Metals. Go click the link now, get the free information, and protect your precious retirement.
If we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that
that's not the question I asked. My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful, if that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago?
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying. That is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other...
Now, I neglected to give Brandon Johnson the illustrious sub 10% approval rating. Mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. I unfortunately previously neglected to give him his full title. So there we have it. The illustrious sub 10% approval rating, Mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. Now, y'all, just today, Chicago suffered 3 police officers.
We are continuing to follow some breaking news of a police-involved shooting in Inglewood. Gabby is live right now with the latest this morning. Good morning, Gabby.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, Brian, we are on 58th Street, just west of the Dan Ryan Expressway. This is where most of the activity is right now. Now, we have some new information from Chicago Police, a spokesperson with them, that says 2 officers are in the hospital with minor injuries. The spokesperson says the officers were not struck by gunfire. He says they may have been struck by a vehicle. 2 offenders are in custody. 1 offender is injured and is at St. Bernard.
So now we come to the crux of the matter, right? President Trump surged thousands of essentially law enforcement and military personnel into Washington, D.C. That's his prerogative. The federal government has a special relationship with Washington, D.C. So he used that power. He surged them in. And take a look at what Muriel Bowser had to say about that decision just today. Take a look.
And so I want to move on to share with you, and I know that there have been data shared throughout this period, and this is a chart. It shows, and this is the type of categories that the chief reports to me on a weekly basis about what's happening in crime in the district. We've highlighted the area in yellow that shows the impact of the surge of FBI, DEA, ATF, and Park and Capitol Police and other federal agencies in the district. And the federal surge has had a significant increase on crime in Washington, D.C. And we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do in this city. The most significant thing that we are highlighting today is the area of crime that was most troubling for us in 2023. Now, we have driven it down over the last years, but I'm going to get my glasses so I can make sure I can see it correctly. But for carjackings, the difference between this period, this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents a 87% reduction in carjackings in Washington, D.C. We know that when carjackings go down, when the use of gun goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer and are safer.
So she undercut the entire narrative. You have the mayor of Chicago, Brandon, the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, saying we don't want the federal help. You have Michelle Wu in Boston saying we don't want the federal help. They haven't received it. They don't have it. And then you have the mayor of Washington, D.C. saying thank you for this help. So who should we believe? Should we believe the people who don't want the help but who need it and haven't received it yet? Or should we believe the one who has received the help and now is giving thanks? I think I'll let you be the judge. Now, I told you that we're going to go into this craziness, this absolute craziness displayed by the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. This is insanity. It's difficult to watch. It's frustrating. But I just want you to see how difficult it is for him. He needs help. Look how difficult it is for him to even accept the suggestion that additional police might be good for his city. Let's take a look. Y'all, we today are going to be looking at the most frustrating clip that you will see all day. I guarantee it. This was posted by Patriot Oasis. So give Patriot Oasis a shout out. And let's just go ahead and get into today's most frustrating clip.
Would you also like to get federal funding to help put 5,000 more cops on the street in Chicago? Would that help drive down crime?
Now watch your boy, the illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson. He cannot, there's something about his stupid ideology that just will not allow him to say, yeah, I'd love to have more cops. Watch how he just can't say that.
Well, look, policing by itself is not the full strategy.
No, I understand that. You've talked about the other things you want, and I said those are good and important programs, but I'm asking also, Would 5,000 more police officers on the street in Chicago be helpful to go along with all of those social programs that a lot of cities are engaging in and having success with?
Do you think he's going to just go ahead and answer the question directly? Yes, give me the cops. Or no, I don't want the cops. We'll see here.
Well, look, here's the best way I can put it, Joe, is that in the 90s when I was in high school, we had 3,000 more police officers and we had 900 people being murdered every single year in Chicago. It's just not policing alone. Of course, we want more detectives.
Now, did Joe say it's policing alone? Joe specifically said, okay, all of the other stuff that you want, excellent. Do you want the police in addition to that? And the illustrious sub 10% approval rating, Mayor of Chicago says it's not policing alone. What do we do with this guy, people?
I know it's not policing alone, but I know it's not policing alone. You've told me
see his wife touching
else you want. I'm curious, and this does come down to an ideological difference between people. Do you believe that the streets of Chicago would be safer if there were more uniformed police officers on the streets?
So here we have Joe just trying to rephrase the question in such a way as to get this highly educated brother to give him a straight answer. Would you like more cops? Do you think that okay, with everything that you want, would cops also help? Do you think that the streets would be safer with more cops?
Of Chicago.
I believe the city of Chicago and cities across America would be safer if we actually had, affordable housing. Look,
okay,
I'm not saying that we don't.
That's not the question I asked.
That's not the question, dummy. I mean, I hate to say dummy, but that's not the question, man. Answer the question.
My question is, and I just need a yes or a no, do you believe the streets of Chicago would be safer if you got all of those other extraordinary programs put back into place, which do have a history of being successful, if that's complemented by having 5,000 more cops on the streets of Chicago?
I don't believe that we should narrow it down to just police officers, Joe, is what I'm saying.
Y'all, why? I mean, I told you it's going to be the most frustrating clip you're going to see all day. This is why this guy, I almost said it. I'm not in Chicago. I'm not from Chicago. I'm not going to tell y'all who to vote for, but I mean, come on, people. He could just say no. I don't think having more cops would make Chicago safer. He might have to justify it, but if that's his opinion, that's his opinion. But you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
It is an antiquated approach. I'm saying we've invested in detectives.
Mr. Mayor, are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm agreeing with you that all of these other social programs are extraordinarily important. I just need a yes or a no, and then this will be the last time I ask. If you get all of those other social programs that 800 million that
even his wife is laughing at this guy. Even Mika's laughing. This makes I mean, it almost makes the mayor look like he can't comprehend the question. I mean, Joe I'm sure has dealt with people who have evaded the question, but it almost makes the mayor look dense. And I know he's not dense, but he's just not a skilled politician either. That's the problem. He's probably a good social studies teacher. Like, the man should probably be in a classroom somewhere teaching kids about, history, Constitution, and whatever else is included in social studies.
New York City does, Los Angeles, other people do with great success. Would an additional 5,000 cops on the streets in Chicago help complement those programs to make Chicago safer?
Look, we are working hard to make sure that our police department is fully supported. I don't believe that just simply putting out an arbitrary number around police officers is the answer. What I'm saying is policing and affordable housing. It's policing and mental and behavioral health care services. It's policing and youth employment. It's a full package. Of course, we want to make sure that our police department is fully supported. That's why I've invested in our Detectives Bureau, because what we have seen in the city of Chicago, when we solve crime, it acts and serves as a deterrent. It's policing.
Y'all, if you're in Chicago, if this guy has your vote, it must just be that y'all really don't. I mean, third biggest city in the country, world-class city. y'all must have better options. And again, I'm not telling y'all who to vote for. I'm not telling you which direction to vote, but this is just plain unacceptable, people. Plain unacceptable.
In all of the other efforts that we're doing. Here's the last thing that I'll say to that. The federal government could work stronger to coordinate with my police department to get guns off the streets of Chicago. We've seen these coordination efforts work.
So now he's just changing the subject.
Couple of weeks ago, the ATF, working with my police department, we removed over 150 guns off the streets of Chicago that were trafficked in through Mississippi and Indiana. No one is saying that police officers don't play an incredible role in driving safety.
That wasn't the question.
Play an absolute pivotal role in that. But we have asked law enforcement to do too much. Police officers...
Finally, he's saying something that at least is somewhat relevant to the question.
Are being asked to be social workers, counselors. What I'm simply saying is, if we're going to build safe and affordable cities across America, the one thing that safe communities all have in common...
You hear Joe, he's like, I'm going to rewind that. Listen to Joe. He's just like, man, I'm done with this guy. Listen to the breath.
Cities across America. The one thing that safe communities all have in common, they invest in people. We have a poverty issue in the city of Chicago and cities across America. Police officers alone will not put food on the table. Police officers alone will not guarantee.
Who said police officers alone, fool? Nobody said police officers alone. Joe specifically said, what if you had all of the other stuff, $800 million worth of stuff, would you also like the police? And this person, illustrious sub 10% approval rating mayor, keeps saying police officers alone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Officers alone won't drive down unemployment. We need all of it. The president of the United States of America and the federal government could restore Medicaid. They could restore SNAP. They could stop defunding our public education system. Here's the most important point here.
Joe's like, yeah,
Justice
just
Brandeis,
wrap it up.
Over 100 years ago,
wrap it up.
The first Jewish American.
Okay, so that's the end of the clip, y'all. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're not too frustrated. I hope you didn't have to pop an Advil watching this. I've said it on the main channel. I'm going to say here again, this guy is obviously highly intelligent. He's obviously trying to evade and deflect. He knows how to answer a question. He's doing this on purpose. He's not, in my opinion, a good politician. He's not, in my opinion, an inspirational character or figure at all. And frankly, he's showing you how to do this politics thing. He's showing you how to do it wrong. That's why he's illustrious sub 10% approval rating. Again, nothing personal. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. Other people have said that he is, and I don't doubt that at all. But Chicago, y'all are a city of millions of people. I'm sure y'all could do better than this. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think down in the comments. But before you do, y'all, please stop, hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all of your favorite social mediums. Look down and see if you're subscribed. If you're not, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget the thumbs up. I want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for liking and loving. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.